Hi, this is Crystal. I portray Chibi Neko on my YouTube channel, Cat Basket Media. It's been a while since I made this video. In fact, it's my first time making a commentary per se, but I figure I'd take a look at one of the most, famous videos I made. Or it's at least the one that's probably gotten the most reaction. It's my top 14 most despised characters of Final Fantasy, and how did why did I do this? Why did I make this video knowing all the shitstorm that would come out of it? Well, long story short, for the longest time, it's not just myself, my husband and I, we've been seeing a decline in, I guess, the fan culture or game culture among fellow gamers. See, growing up playing video games was all about having fun. You can discuss your favorite characters. You can talk about, what secrets did you find, what plot point did you get to. But lately, it hasn't been like that. It's basically gaming has become sort of a status symbol, I suppose, just a way of getting bragging rights. It's all about. It's no longer about getting the highest score. It's now all about having the most games, getting what's the rarest game you have? How many do you have? And to me, I just find that to be nonsense. It's almost as if it's starting to ruin everything. And people are taking it way too seriously. What's happening is you're getting these grade A games coming out, and unless you fall in line and say, oh, this game is the best thing ever, you're going to get shit on. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I said I should make a video about video games. I should make one that basically picks on this group of gamers. But instead of doing a top 10 favorite kind of list, I think, I should probably try a negative instead. Something that's that goes against the norm. So I'm going to pick out something that, a top 10 despised or hated list. So I had to figure out, okay, now what should I target? What's something that everyone loves but would get a reaction if I talk negative about? And immediately Final Fantasy came up because when it comes to a group of fans, group of gaming fans, Final Fantasy fans are among the most notorious. These are the people that you can't, I don't want to generalize now, but I mean, a lot of Final Fantasy fans, you can't just go up and say, oh, my favorite character is Cloud. They'll say, oh, Cloud sucks. He, he's all emo, and I'm beginning to grow tired of it. So, okay, so Final Fantasy seemed perfect. So what I did is, alright, people are treating characters as if they were real, as if they're these people they grew up with from high school. So I thought it was perfect. So I said, okay, there's some characters that kind of annoy me. I don't hate them, but I don't really love them either. So I decided a top 14 despised list of characters. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna have a ton of fun at this. So I'm gonna have Chibi Neko really amp it up, make it, like she can't stand these characters. She's real bitchy about it, and basically when I got done with the product, I'm like, you know what, this is so ridiculous. I almost didn't want to put it up, but you know what, I want to make my point that, look, I enjoy these games, I love Final Fantasy, but you know what, I can make fun of this stuff. I can pick on things, and I can live to see another day. And also make the point that, I guess other people, they're just not going to react that way. So I made this video with the full expectation that I'm going to get totally trashed for, a lot of hate, a lot of trolls. And of course it's YouTube. It's a stereotype. YouTube commenters, they don't, they just want to troll for the fun of it. So yeah, I was expecting that thing as well. When I first posted the video, I didn't get much reaction at all. I began to feel, wow, maybe I underestimated these people. Like, I know these crazy fanboys, fangirls are out there, but it actually started out pretty quiet. First few weeks, I maybe got a couple hundred hits. A lot of the commenters began by saying, oh, like, oh, it was a lot of fun, it was a pretty cool parody, and well, these are characters I can't stand, right? So it actually began a conversation that actually began to impress me, but at the same time I was a little disappointed. I'm like, you know, come on, they're out there, but I'm not really sure what happened, but close to a year went by, and I don't know if it was word of mouth that went around, but the views began to jump. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't know if it was linking it, but alright, you know, no big deal. But then the comments started, I'm like, okay, here we go. It's now starting up. And people were just going batshit crazy. They're saying, like, how dare you pick on this person? They're my favorite. And I'm like, it's exactly what I was expecting. I don't know why it took so long to get this reaction, but I'm like, okay, it's going on. So I did try to respond to a few people to, I don't know, hopefully they get the point of the video right off the bat, but it didn't really happen. Try to explain to them, listen, you know, these are fictional characters. They're a free game for anybody. Why should it matter if I don't like this particular character or not? It just doesn't make any sense. And these characters, they don't need to be defended. It's as if, you know, if a game is really that good, or a character is that deep and involving or in depth, if you like them that much, really, why should it matter what I say? I mean, right now we're seeing Vaughn, okay, I really go crazy, like, oh, he's useless, he's an idiot. Okay, so what? Why should that matter if Vaughn is your favorite character? It basically seems to give the impression that they really are insecure. I don't know if people are putting so much faith in these characters as a way of covering up their own insecurities. And that's something I began to see as the comments developed. They were so offended for no apparent reason. And of course, then there's other types of comments trying to say, oh, you don't know, you know, this person is overly cutesy or overly charismatic. You don't know anything about the culture that these characters were created from. And once again, that's completely inaccurate, because when it comes to the Japanese culture, I'm actually very, very, I really do know a great deal, much more than what people realize. I really am familiar with the Japanese culture. I've studied the language for, since I was probably definitely in high school, at least 17. I was studying the language ever since I was 17. I played most of these Final Fantasy games, so I do know all of their backgrounds in great detail. So basically people were accusing Chibi Neko of not knowing anything about these characters, while at the same time these people are accusing Chibi Neko of not knowing anything about her. I mean, for all I know, this is probably the first video that Chibi Neko has been in, and they cut to quick conclusions, which is what, you know, that's what Chibi Neko is doing. So basically, it's a double standard. I mean, how on earth can you judge Chibi Neko for saying the things she's saying if you don't know anything about her herself? So another point that began to get proven as this video progressed. And we have Irvine. I'm actually starting to watch this video now. This was done. I wasn't very good at making top videos when I made this. This actually took me a really long time to do. I think it took me close to a week to get the editing done. But you know, if you watch my newer videos, especially top list videos compared to this one, it's pretty obvious I was in a steep learning curve here. I pretty much finished building my new computer, and I got this brand new Adobe software, and I've learned Adobe back in college, but I'm starting to feel old here now. But that's over a decade ago that I went to college. I learned how to do this, so this updated Adobe software was fairly new to me, but I got the hang of it. Hope. Yeah, in all honesty, I found Hope to be a little whiny, but I mean, in reality, I never blamed him for it. I just thought he'd be a good, you know, pretty fun guy to pick on. Chibi Neko saying, oh, he's so whiny, he's a wet blanket, yeah. But no, like, that's reality. When it came to all these characters, I really don't hate these guys. I actually picked a lot of these characters that people loved on purpose to prove the point how people are taking these things way too seriously, and unfortunately I had to disable the comments, and it wasn't because of what people were saying to me. I really couldn't care less. I mean, they, like I said, they're just proving the point of the video. People began to flag each other, and I got no tolerance for that. Like, listen, I mean, whether you approve or not, I mean, you can say what you like, just don't diss each other for it. So I said, listen, you know, I did give a warning to people, look, don't be flagging each other. That's not the, you know, that's not what I'm trying to do here, but unfortunately it just kept on going. So as I record this, I still have the comments disabled, but there's still people commenting on my favorites lists, and they are saying a few things about the despised lists, and they are keeping it civil. They're not dissing each other, which is fine by me. I have very few rules when it comes to comments on my videos, and the main one is no threats. I mean, if you threaten me, I will report you, and I have done that before. You know, if I have any friends in my videos, you know, you can say what you want to me. I don't care. You just don't say things about the other people in my videos. You know, that's a given. And don't be flagging each other, because positive or negative, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. And while 90% of the people who comment me on this video are trolls, they can still say what they want. I really don't care. I mean, I know why I made this video. I made it as a parody to make, you know, basically it's my way of disassociating myself with the crazy fandom, because I mean, I really do enjoy Final Fantasy. I honestly do believe the games have reduced in quality. It's almost as if Square is focusing more on the look rather than you know, the character, the story, and the development. But I still like to give them a try. You know, 10. I don't think Final Fantasy X was all that stellar, but I didn't think it was terrible. You know, I got through it just fine. If there's any Final Fantasy games I really did not like, that I did not enjoy, but still played them anyway, was Final Fantasy VIII and Final Fantasy XIII. You know, number 8 still has a really huge fan base, and you know, I don't blame them. Square, they were trying something different. You know, you can still tell it's a Final Fantasy, but they were still trying to be, you know, much more cinematic than what I guess what the Final Fantasy series was used to. But they're progressing, and you know what? Sometimes you have to make a few mistakes, and that's what I consider Final Fantasy VIII to be. A bit of a blip. You know, it's not perfect. I didn't like the game that much, but it has its fan base, so that's fine. You know, I no issues with that. But 13, ugh, 13 was horrible. You know, say what you like. I couldn't get into it. I just, nah. Although I do regret not playing number 4, and people were saying that. How come you didn't, you know, comment on any Final Fantasy 4 characters? And you know, I wanted to, but the sad thing is that I never played it. But I should do that, man. I really should sit down and play Final Fantasy 4. I hear so many great things about it. You know, it's a little embarrassing for me to admit that. Now, I played all these games, but I didn't play number 4, and I really got to. Oh, Selphie loves trains. I actually thought she was cute. I didn't really hate her all that much. I thought she was a bit bubbly and cute, and she was actually pretty intelligent. But you know what? People loved her, so that's why I added her to the list. Just for spite. Oh, Yuffie. You know what? Yuffie did actually annoy me, but I did take her on my party as a permanent member of my party, because she's, I don't know, I actually found her to be a valuable party member. She has really good limit breaks, and just get her most powerful weapon and equip her with the 4 times material, and she's actually kick-ass. In fact, when I got to the 2nd disc of Final Fantasy, my main party consisted of Cloud, Yuffie, and Cid. You know, I mean, she is a bit childish, and, you know, she is young, but, man, she really did kick ass. I always liked her in my party. And the funny thing is, too, when I played Final Fantasy VII for the first time, I had no issues, answering these questions to Recruiter, because there is a certain, you gotta answer the questions all correctly in order to get her. And, no, actually, I don't think it was me who got it right the first time. My cousin played this game, and I think she may have made one mistake. Not sure. But, yeah, but after reading it, it's not that difficult to recruit her.
Vanille from Final Fantasy XIII.
Vanille. I'll admit, like,
If you ask me,
I don't know, I just...
character wrote
Again, she's not a character I totally despise or hate, but man,
past and conclusion.
she did make my eyes twitch a few times. I had to, I don't know, like, she has a cool design. I love her costume. She is pretty neat. But man, I don't know who they got to do the voice acting, but oh my god, if there's anything on this earth that annoyed me about Vanille, it was her voice. Maybe if they had a different actress to portray her, she probably wouldn't be as annoying as I thought. And I'm not the only one who thinks that. WatchMojo.com, they did their top 10 annoying video game characters, and she was pretty high, so yeah, I'm not alone in this. Oh, Vanille. Yeah, sometimes it can be the littlest things that annoy you about certain characters.
Non-disgusting way. And like Vanille, she knew more than what she was letting on. The difference being that Eris just withheld information.
Yeah,
Vanille
Eris.
literally played stupid. I guess you could
Funny
tell
thing,
from
yeah,
last
it's just,
episode
that's the funny thing about Eris. I mean,
over the top cute.
I did enjoy her a lot, but I do understand what people are saying, that they find her
It reminds me of
a bit annoying as well.
She admitted that acting
And you know, she wasn't perfect. You know, none of these characters are perfect. They're all meant to have flaws and positives, and
or something. I've never been able to figure
but
this out.
I don't know. I found with some of these they went a little over the top, but whatever floats people's boats.
Rinoa from Final Fantasy.
Renoa, I actually got a few genuine beefs with this character. I don't, you know, there's a lot of fans of her, but
VIII is one of my most
and I understand that in Japan that her behavior is of the norm, you know, like, yeah, I do understand why people ask for
supposed to be love.
a ring that belongs to their crush. I mean, I'm totally aware of that. It's just that,
Dance with him.
I don't know, when she does it,
The game is saying,
it just seems But it's kind of like with Yuffie. Like, I did not like Renoa's character at all. And I was smiling when she was hanging off the ledge, like, you know, like, drop. Like, that is a true story. I really did say that in my mind's like, come on, Renoa, you can't hold on forever. You gotta fall from that cliff sometime. In fact, I'm actually surprised there wasn't a time limit. Why didn't they have a time limit? In Final Fantasy VI, they had time limits for certain situations. I remember Sabin was holding up the side of a house, and you had to go in and rescue this child. You know, why didn't they do that with Renoa? That would have added a lot of pressure, a lot of, you know, you're right at the edge of your seat. Okay, gotta save Renoa. But no, so really, you know, I was Squalor. I was just wandering around garden the entire time, fighting enemies, and here she was, help me. But Renoa, as a party member, like Yuffie, I always had her in my party. Like, she was really, really good. I hated her personality, but damn, she was a good fighter. You had to level her up a few times, but what I would do, you know, she never left my party. She's a good healer, and her limit breaks, I get mixed receptions from, because people were saying that, oh, she sucks, right? She just launches a dog off her arm. But I don't know why, but every time I had Renoa use a limit break, it was always the shooting star. And oh man, and that was so useful in the last boss, because we couldn't use your guardian forces. So, yeah. And that's another thing I had to point to people when I made this list. Like, listen, I made this list based on, you know, character personalities and what they do in the story. It has nothing to do with how they are in battle, because a lot of the characters I didn't like the most were in fact the most useful ones in battle. And that was like Riku, you know, man, Riku was awesome. Riku was really good with with her mechanics, right? So I really love that. And oh yes, this scene, this is one problem I always had with Final Fantasy VIII was the writing. And I can't tell which game had the worst writing, you know, number 8 or 12. I think the same people worked on it. That probably would explain why. But yeah, that's the thing. The whole thing about Renoa and Squall getting together, it wasn't because they liked each other. I saw no evidence of a progression of the relationship. It was only because the script called for it. And that's the general feeling I got from this game, is, you know, they didn't have a reason to do anything. There was no reason, really, or motivation. to go after the sorceress. It's just their job, and nothing. So, nah, no investment. Now, Serah. Yeah, see, I was going to put Renault as #1, but the reason I would put Serah, it goes back to the fan fiction days. I admit, I used to read a lot of fan fiction. I did write some for a while. But the one rule about fanfiction is the Mary Sue, and it's the person that people dislike the most. The Mary Sue is a person supposed to be perfect and compassionate. Everyone loves her, except the reader. So I always felt that Serah was the Mary Sue, and I don't really know why. It is explained more in the sequel to, to Fantasy XIII too. But when I started playing 13, and I saw scenes like this, I'm like, okay, the characters are in a fit, but I can't feel anything. I really couldn't, and it seemed like they were overplaying this character way too much. That I don't know, like, were they trying to get the audience attached to her so early? I mean, you can't do that. It's just, damn, I think they went about it the wrong way. I mean, I compared it to Eris. Like, they're trying, it felt to me they were trying to make another Eris. They're trying to create a character that people would love, people would get attached to, and when something happened to her, the audience would actually feel for her, but I just found they really did do in the wrong order in 13. Now, if that's what Square was going for, I really don't know. And again, it's all to do with the writing. You just can't tell anymore. It's either so obscure, it doesn't make sense. And while I found that the games were slowly decreasing in quality, I think that was a part of it. I began to feel alienated from these games, mostly due to the writing. And like yeah, there's a comparison here I made with Eris and Serah. Like, Eris, okay, we got to know her. She was silly, she was a little cute, she actually had issues, and you want to know more about her, and comes to the very pivotal point of the game, bam, she dies, and I actually cried during that scene. And in 13, oh man, it's like they tried to do the entire Eris thing in a period of less than an hour. But other than that, though, like, Serah, no, I didn't really hate her all that much at all, but it's basically what she was doing to the game that I figured, you know what, yeah, I'll put her as #1 as a homage to my fanfiction days, and apparently Serah does have a lot of fandom out there too. It is not as aggressive as the other characters. But I figured, yeah, let me put someone at #1 that people would never, ever guess. Because there are characters out there that people find really annoying. They probably figured, okay, it's gotta be Yuffie's #1, or maybe, that Spoony Bird, he'll be the #1. He probably would have, but I just didn't bother, I didn't play #4. But, yeah. Serah was a last second edition. I figured no one will guess who she was, but hey. So anyway, that is my commentary of this video. I had a lot of fun making it. So this is Crystal signing out, and I don't know what I'll be doing next. Bye-bye!